Lokera Jivana Krishna Lokera Jivana Ha Prabhu Kora Doya Deha Mote Parachaya Ha Prabhu Kora Doya Deha Mote Parachaya Evya Suchuti Bhavana Evya Suchuti Bhavana Ha ha Prabhu Kora Doya Deha More Parachaya Padela la sharana Da Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaga Guru Srila Prabhupada Jaga Guru Srila Prabhupada Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prasarine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachara Shakarine Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Prabhupada, Paramahansa Paravachakacharya, Ashtara Sashishmat, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, Ki Jai, Ananta Kota Vaishnavanda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Shakho Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Pamunachananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaur, Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Kokopina Shamakun, Radhakun, Gir Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Mathur Dham Ki Jai, New Raman Ritik Dham Ki Jai, Gangamai Jamunamai Ki Jai. All glories to the sum of devotees. All glories to the sum of devotees. All glories to the sum of devotees. Shri Krishna Sankirtan Ki Jai. Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. So reading a little Prabhupada nectar this morning. This is something written by Hridayananda Goswami. The fact that Prabhupada had the potency to empower young boys and girls to go all over the world and establish this movement is a transcendental reality. That was his glory. And the people who were not physically with Prabhupada, they were having just as intense and sometimes more intense experiences. Prabhupada was sometimes more intensely present in those places. The reality of Prabhupada's appearance on the earth is even today expanding. It's not that he is a material person, that's the whole point. Prabhupada was not a human being confined only to wherever he was personally present. His personal presence was special, and those were special pastimes. But practically, Prabhupada was like the sun. He expanded his potency everywhere, and he is still doing so. Prabhupada is the Jagat Guru who expands himself all over the world and is continuing to expand himself into the hearts of everyone. That is stated in the Bhagavatam in the case of Sutta Goswami. Tam sarvabhuta hridayam munim anatosmi. Sutta said about his guru, Shuka, I offer my obeisances to my spiritual master who enters into the heart of everyone. And similarly, Vyasadeva glorified his guru, Narada, by saying, Tvam Prayatan Arka Iva Trilokim Antash Charo Vayor Iva Ma Shakshi. You are just like the sun. You go everywhere exactly like the sun, all over the universe. So Vyasadeva said, Antash Chara. You actually enter in within everything. And Vayor Iva, you are just like the wind. Just as the air goes inside your body and also outside your body, he said, so my spiritual master can go inside and outside of everything. So it should be understood that Prabhupada actually was and is expanding himself all over the whole universe. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So we want to welcome Jayananda Prabhu, Hari Bol. Is he here? Hare Krishna. Oops. Jayananda Prabhu is the minister of deity worship in North America. He's very well trained in Mayapur, and he's here to observe and advise and guide us in our deity worship and help us perfect it. He'll meet tonight with the deity committee, and then tomorrow we have a meeting in the temple room. Any devotees who are engaged in deity service or deity cooking or would like to be should attend. It's a good way to learn more about Srila Prabhupada's standards and expectations for deity worship in our temples. And there won't be a question and answer session, but if you have a question, you put it in the question box in the Pujari room, and then he will get to have a chance to look them over and answer tomorrow evening. Today, I have to tell everyone, is Akuti Prabhu's birthday. That's a big deal for me. I'm very happy she was born. I think my guess would be she's probably turning 22 or something today. And we should pray that she has a long life. so that she can continue to do the amazing service she does here at this temple. Haribol. There is Harinam this evening in Gainesville, 5 p.m. at the corner of 13th and University. Nagaraj Prabhu is going to lead that Harinam. This is a rare opportunity to go back on Harinam with Nagaraj. Super nice. Tomorrow, Saturday, the devotees are meeting at 5 p.m. at the Krishna House for Harinam at Gate 7 at the UF first football game of the year. It's very ecstatic. So if you're not otherwise engaged, you'd want to go out and do that tomorrow evening, 5 o'clock. Monday is the boat festival where we take Chota Radhe Shyam on their swan boat around the fountain, and everyone gets a chance to pull them. On Radhastami, we have a nice abhishek, but the devotees don't get to participate in that. So this is your chance to do that kind of really sweet personal service for Radhe Shyam. Monday, 7 p.m., right after the Artik. You come for Artik, and then we go out, and everyone can pull the boat around. I think it's a Labor Day holiday, so many people should be here. Tuesday, of course, is our big Radhastami Mahotsava, and I hope everyone will be coming. And I'm here to remind you, because I'm the one who has to see that all the bills get paid, please make a contribution. If you have not contributed any pennies at all to the summer festivals, and I know there are many who haven't, please think about making a donation now to Radharani's festival. It'll be very good for you and very helpful for us. Okay, here are the devotees who assisted their spiritual master dressing the deities today. Shishi Radha Shamsundar Astasaki Prabhu, Chota Radha Shamasundar Karaneshri Prabhu, Shishi Krishna Balaram Akuti Prabhu, Chota Krishna Balaram Manjari Sundari Prabhu, Shishi Gornitai Bhadra Prabhu, Chota Gornitai Madhuri Gopi Prabhu. And Pushkar Prabhu is giving class today.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Baladhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Randana Yamunatira Manachari Yamunatira Manachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Jasodananda Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Priya Brajagachara Jaskotara Sutashi Mari Bhaktan Swami Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Prime Sri Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktavinda Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kundra Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jagannath Puri Dham Ki New Ramaneti Dham Ki Tulasi Devi Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Ganga Mai Ki Jaman Mai Ki Samaveta Bhaktavinda Ki Glories to the awesome devotee, glories to the humble devotees, glories to the awesome devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Jai Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirai. Srimad Bhagavatam 10th Canto, chapter 48, verse 8, 9, 10, and 11. Shaivam Kaivalyanatam Tam Prapya Dushprapyam Ishvaram Angaragarpane Pana Angaragarpane Naho Durbhagedam Ayachata Chaivam Kaivalyanatam Tam Prapya Dushprapyam Ishvaram Angaragarpane Naho Durbhagedam Ayachata. We got 4 verses, so I'll just read the English. Having thus gotten the hard-to-get Supreme Lord by the simple act of offering him body ointment, unfortunate Trivakra submitted to that Lord of freedom the following request. Purport. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srimati Trivakra prayed to the Lord, please enjoy only with me, not with any other woman. Because Krishna was not prepared to grant such a benediction, Trivakra is described here as unfortunate. Sridhar Swami adds that although to ordinary eyes she seemed to beg for material sex pleasure, in fact she was a liberated soul at this point. Text 9. Sahosyatam iha preshta Dinani katachinmaya Ramasva notsahe taktum Sangam te buru hekshana. Translation. Trivakra said, O beloved, please stay here with me for a few days more and enjoy. I cannot bear to give up your association, O lotus-eyed one. Purport. The word ambu means water, and ruha means rising. Thus, ambu ruha means the lotus flower which rises up from the water. Lord Krishna is called Amburuhekshana. The lotus-eyed one. He is the source and embodiment of all beauty, and naturally, Trivakra was attracted to him. However, the Lord's beauty is spiritual and pure, and his intention was not to gratify himself with Trivakra, but rather to bring her to the point of pure spiritual existence, Krishna consciousness. 10. Tasyai kamavaram dattva manayit pachamanada sahodavena sarvesha swadama gamad vidhima. Promising her the fulfillment of this lusty desire, considerate Krishna, Lord of all beings, paid Trivakra his respects, and then returned with Uddhava to his own supremely opulent residence. Purport. All the acharyas agree that the words Kamavaram Dattva indicate that Lord Krishna promised Trivakra he would fulfill her lusty desires. Text 11. Doraradhyam samaradhya Vishnum sarveshvareshvaram Yovrinite manograhyam Asatvat kumanishyasa. Translation. Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Lord of all lords, is ordinarily difficult to approach. One who has properly worshipped him and then chooses the benediction of mundane sense gratification is certainly of poor intelligence, for he is satisfied with an insignificant result. Purport. It is clear from the commentaries of the acharyas that the story of Trivakra is to be understood on two levels. On one hand, she is understood to be a liberated soul directly associating with the Lord and participating in his pastimes. On the other hand, her conduct is clearly meant to teach a lesson about what not to do in relation with Lord Krishna. Since all of the Lord's pastimes are not only blissful but also didactic, there is no real contradiction in this pastime, since Trivakra's purity and her bad example take place on two distinct levels. Arjuna is also considered a pure devotee, yet by initially disobeying Krishna's instruction to fight, he also showed an example of what not to do. However, such bad example, unquote, is always have happy endings in the blissful association of the absolute truth, Sri Krishna. Om Agana Tamarandasya Gananjana Shalaka Chachulamaritam Jaya Tasma Shri Gurave Mukam Karoti Bachalam Pangulang Aite Garing Yakipatamaham Bande Shri Guru Ninataram Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. Having thus gotten the hard-to-get Supreme Lord by the simple act of offering him body ointment, unfortunate Trivakra submitted to that Lord of Freedom the following request. So in verse 8, Kaivalya, this word is used of liberation, Natham. Kaivalya Natham Tam, that Krishna is the Lord of Kaivalya. Many places Krishna is known like that. Ekantino yashina kantino chanti vai. So Kaivalya is one of the names of Krishna. And it says here, Prapyas dushprapyam ishvaram. She obtained prapya, which is very hard to get. It says here, dushprapyam. And what she wanted, it says in the purport, only enjoy with me, no other woman, which is impossible. Therefore, in this verse, she's also called Durbhaga. But this Durbhaga is understood on these, as it says in the last purport we read, two levels, because in the material world, everyone is Durbhaga. Erupe Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagavana Jeev. When we become we had good fortune, Bhagavanji Guru Krishna Prasade Pai, and we get the mercy of the spiritual master, Bhakti Lata Bij, we get the seed of devotional service, then we're considered fortunate. And Krishna is most fortunate, the Supreme Lord of all good fortune. I think recently we heard some kids talking. We heard when Prabhupada, we heard about Prabhupada just now, that was a good point, how Prabhupada's ever expanding good fortune that one doesn't have to see physically. There's another point to get to, but Prabhupada said at the Bhagavad Discourses that you have all come because you are very fortunate. So we shouldn't consider ourselves unfortunate in that way. You have all come here, he said, your fathers have not come, your grandfathers have not come, but you have come. Why? Because you are fortunate. So at that moment, everybody felt very fortunate. We heard that Prabhupada had some time, always would not exhibit any mystic power, or so we hear. But at that moment, Prabhupada exhibited vast mystic power. Everybody felt very fortunate. So much so, I remember feeling like when Prabhupada said that, I could perceive, must have been an illusion, transcendental illusion, but you could perceive like all the living entities suddenly. They're sitting up on that hill in Bahulabang. Probably if you go there now, you might be able to experience some of it, but you could feel that the little bugs, suddenly Prabhupada had a very good potency, amazing potency, that if he somehow he did it purposely, nobody knows, but when he said that, then everybody could perceive the living entities in the ground, and I think it was in the evening that he said it, I can't remember, but he said it, and you could perceive all the bugs and the germs and on the hill, all the different living entities. Then we felt fortunate. I couldn't tell whether they were fortunate, but I know I could perceive there was something going on there. Prabhupada had this potency. So that fortune is there for everybody, which we just heard, Mukhya read it. However, here, this Durbhaga, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in several songs, like in, we're not usually chant these songs. There's a lot of songs. I think if you have maybe 200 lifetimes, might be able to chant all of Bhaktivinoda's, learn all of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's songs. But in a few songs, he uses this word Durbhaga, that he says, Durbhaga Ami, Nachini Vaishnav. He says, I don't even know what a Vaishnava is. One way of feeling unfortunate like that Bhaktivinoda Thakur he's saying like that. At one point he says, I won't even talk about this, considering all the audience. You have to figure out, what is he saying? And he won't say it now because he reached the maximum of his feeling of viraha, burning feeling of separation from Krishna, but he's feeling like, if there's any Vaishnava, in his song he's saying, if there's any actual Vaishnavas out there, they should take pity on me because I am Durbhaga. So this shows, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is so vastly intelligent and so merciful that although we're not able to even understand theoretically, academically, how we should feel, but he's showing that how he feels, Durbhaga, because he doesn't even know what a real Vaishnava is. They should take pity on him. He says, take pity on me, I'm Durbhaga. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying a similar thing. Durdaivam idrisha mahajni nanuraga. My raga, my attachment for the holy name did not. There's one verse here. Hey Nata, hey Rama, hey Nata, Preshta, Kvasi, Mahabhuja. The gopis are looking, they're also feeling very unfortunate, burning in this fire of separation from Krishna. They're also feeling very unfortunate that you are Ramana, and here the word is also Ramashva. He's the supreme enjoyer. He won't only enjoy with this lady, although she's gotten the request of Krishna, gotten the audience of Krishna. He is not prepared to grant such a benediction. So this is kind of a greedy, considered a materialistic. But her material desires are being burned up in this situation. When the gopis that didn't even get to go out with Krishna at night, it's also just by meditating on the embrace of Krishna, Mahabhuja, the arms of Krishna, all their sinful, anything material, maybe not sinful, anything material, any slight material desire, just by this meditation was burned up and finished. Viraha, dushaha. They became fortunate, it says, Subhadra, just by this meditation on Krishna. Even though they didn't get the physical, what to speak of here, she's come in contact, Trivakra, directly. Sridhar Swami adds that although to ordinary eyes she seemed to beg for material sex pleasure, in fact she was a liberated soul at this point. So that's why in this verse we have the word Kaivalya, Saivam Kaivalya Natham. He's the Lord of Kaivalya. That's a message for those who are after this impersonal liberation also. Then in this next 9th verse, "O beloved, please stay here with me a few days more and enjoy. I cannot bear to give up your association, O lotus-eyed one." Lotus-eyed. So these eyes in Krishna's face, Maduram Maduram, Vaparashi Vibo, Maduram Maduram, Marugandhi Smido Mitametaraho, Maduram Maduram. Krishna has a sweet, moon-like lotus. His face is like the king, the head of all moons, and his body is like the throne. And within his face, there are the different half moons of his forehead, and his body, his toenails, his fingernails, and all attractive features of Krishna. Kamaniya, Vishesha Shobam. He's worshipped with this Kama Gayatri. That's why Prabhupada stresses in some parts of Chaitanya Charitamrita how one has to, Bhakti Santa Saraswati, Krishna's Kaviraj, that Krishna is known as Kamadev. He's Madan Mohan. He attracts Cupid, and there's Kamadev, he's Cupid. And within that Kama Gayatri, it is Krishna's Swarup, is actually the form of Krishna, as pointed out in Sanatana Shiksha also. So, to worship Krishna Upasana properly, one has to chant Gayatri mantra, the Kama Gayatri. Sometimes devotees, they get the Gayatri mantra, then they give it up like it's not important, but it's actually very important to worship this Lord, who is the Lord of all the Cupids. Vishesha Shob, Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobam. There's so many millions of Cupids, more beautiful than so many. And in his Kama Gayatri mantra is described there all the 3 deities that we worship also in Vrindavan. The Madan Mohan deity is the Kamadev, Kamadevaya Vishwan, Pushpavan. He's got flowers of arrows. His beautiful eyes are described here, are like those arrows also. And they pierce the heart. And that is like Govinda Dev deity. So once we're established in our relationship by chanting Hare Krishna properly and reading the Shastras, Nana Shastra, Vicharanai Kinepano, all the Shastras have been given by our beloved 6 Goswamis, so merciful, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti have revealed what is in these Shastras, so it is incumbent upon us to study them and chant. Even chanting Hare Krishna The Hare Krishna mantra is the representation also of Krishna's flute. And the same thing that Brahmaji hears in the beginning of the creation. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly reveals, it wasn't revealed clearly, when he found the Brahma Samhita in the Adikeshava temple. And he revealed this, just this one chapter, 5th chapter of Brahma Samhita. So many tattvas are described there, and the Gayatri mantra is described there. How important it is to hear it, just as Brahmaji heard it. And that way, one becomes more and more attracted. Right now, we're not in this position. We're reading about it, how Kubja, Trivakra, she's feeling this burning love for Krishna. And here this verse is describing the Ambur Hikshana, Nityotsavam Natachapur. In another place, I think it's in 9th canto, there's a verse like that. One sees Krishna's face, his eyes, Natachapur, he pibanti, he drinks it, then he can't be satisfied with anything material. So this is the point where Kubja has come to. A little bit similar thing is there described by Krishna in 11th canto, how that Pingala, Ashahi, Paramam, Dukam, Nirasha, Paramam, Shukam. She said that she was the prostitute. One of the examples Krishna gave, one of our gurus, 24 or 28 gurus, the arrow maker, the mountain, the air, so many sunshine, the girl with the bangles, there's so many of those gurus. So one of them is the Pingala. And how she was after so much, not only she was a prostitute for her, but she liked to be a prostitute. So one day it happened that she couldn't find any customers. She was loitering here and there on the street. Nobody cared for her. So she has that verse, she has so many statements, and one of them was like that, where she said, Ashahi paramam dukam. Asha, material desire, it leads to the greatest misery. Asha. Nirasha paramam sukam. If we want the greatest pleasure, then we have to give up our material desires. Vasudevi Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. Janayat Yashu Vaira Ashu. That will quickly happen by this hearing Vasudeva Kataruchi. One gets a taste for this Vasudeva Kata. Tava Katamritam Tapta Jivanam. This Tapta Jivana means burning in the heart that we have, like Kubja had. She was very fortunate, actually. Not Durbaga, but it's kind of on one level. Just imagine she's Krishna, directly with Krishna. But she still described her as Durbaga. But we're all Durbaga in that way. Although we've gotten this fortune, it's described that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, not only there's an ocean, Premarnava, ocean of love, of God, is there. He's revealing it to Sanatana Goswami, to everyone, the whole world. But we don't dive and swim. Premanave. Evanya. Krishna's Kaviraj says, one who doesn't swim in this, dive and swim, Jaina Bashi, say Jeev Char. This jiva, any jiva that comes in contact with Krishna, like Kubja got, or any of us, say Jeev Char. That jiva is very unfortunate, very fallen. One who doesn't, because he says, Koti, I will take Koti Kalpe, Nahika Nishtar. For millions and millions of kalpas, he won't be delivered. This ocean of love that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has brought, Gora Rasa Rasarnave, Gora Prema Rasarnave, Sejane, Bhakti Rasa Sar. Wants to understand Bhakti Ras, the essence of it, and he simply has to take even the name of Gauranga. Gauranga Bolite Hobe Pulaka Sharya. Narottam Das Thakur says.
He's aspiring just to chant the name of Gaura Anga. This Gaura Anga is not different from Radha Krishna. Prabhupada describes that in purport of Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's fourth Gaura Anga. That means the golden body of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One has to always think of it. Chintyatam bhaktas Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's not different from Radha Krishna. So this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is so powerful. You read 6th canto, what to speak of unfortunate, Sorapo Mitra Drug, Stena Sorapo Mitra Drug, Ajamil pastime, that it is said there in the Bhagavatam, even if one is a thief, Guru Talpaga, even if he, what to speak of, has sex with his guru's wife, it says there, even if he's a thief, he kills his friend, he kills brahmanas, Ayam Krita Nirvesho, he has unlimited sinful activity. It's all removed by contact with the holy name of Krishna. Ayam Hi Krita Nirvesho. So, one most sinful of all persons, and there's so many of them, Kali Yuga, all full of nothing but rotten barbarians. Just see it in the news every minute of the day. Just they don't think twice about doing the most horrible things. People can't even watch the news. They just please turn it off. They can't watch this nonsense, insanity. Completely mad. Nunam pramatta kurute. Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma. They're not karmis. They're vikarmi very. Asuranyoni mapana mudha janmani janmani. Krishna says in the 16th chapter of the Gita, I'm putting them down. Tri vidam narakasyedam balamas. Kama krota tatalova. This Kama. Krishna is the Lord of Kama. As Kamadev, as the Kama Gayatri mantra, he brings this desire to the three worlds as described. All this. So this perverted desire. Kama krota vimuktanam yatinam yatacheta abhito brahma nirvana. The 5th chapter of the Gita, Krishna is describing that one has to become free. Vitaraga, free of all this material desire. And this is the way we do it. There's no other way. As impersonalists want, Prabhupada described it, they want to merge or think of something, this or that. But Chaitanya Prabhu is so merciful, yet he's liberating all these impersonalists, karmis. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Vishaya Vimuda, Mayavadi Jan, Dui. He says, there's two type of person I want to avoid. Vishaya Vimuda, those who are Vimuda, not just Mudha, Vimuda, two types of Vimudas. Prabhupada said it means 1,000 times ass. He says there's two types, the ordinary sense gratifiers and the Mayavadi. He said, I will take the enjoyers, the sense enjoyers, over the Mayavadis. Because they want to say that Krishna has no form, he can't enjoy, that we can't have any relationship with Krishna. He said, it's so dangerous. He said, this is like the Vajra, lightning bolts striking Krishna. So therefore, he's the Lord of liberation. Vashashta mukti shriya. It says there, one beautiful verse, Akristi kritachetasam sumanatam uchatanam changasam. It's quoted from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, but that this holy name is attractive for all saintly persons. Anyone who has some saintly qualities, he will be attracted to the holy name because it is Krishna himself. Akristi kritachetasam. Sumanasam, those who are sumanasam. There's one word used here in, I think in this, the last verse. Kumanish also, asatva. It's difficult to approach Vishnu one who has properly worshipped him and then chooses the benediction of mundane sense gratification is certainly of poor intelligence. There's a verse like that in the first canto. Nachasya kaschinya panena dator. Avaiti jantu kumanisha utahi. This kumanisha word is used there also. Not the charjam vivagya, because Krishna is not the charjam. He can't be seen by ordinary intelligence. This kumanisha means bad intelligence. He's dancing like an actor. You can't see him. Natyo nata yata. Kunti Devi has a prayer like that. He's dancing in front of us. There he is. But someone who his senses are not purified by chanting Hare Krishna, he won't be able to. Sometimes people stop chanting, then they say, I don't have a taste. I said, yeah, but we have to tell them, but you're supposed to chant, then you get a taste. So you'd have no taste now, but you just force yourself to chant. One devotee was telling me the other day on my phone, he said, no, when Prabhupada was here, I could chant, and everything was, but now But she just read a very nice elucidation that Prabhupada is here in his instructions. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was here in his instructions. When that South Indian Brahmana was at the Korma Brahmana, he wanted to leave everything, leave his family. He was traveling with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu some distance. He said, no. He said, I know you think that your household life will impede you. No, that's not true. But this Vishaya, these waves of material sense gratification, they won't hinder you at all. Rather, Pabe Mora Sangha, you'll get my association. If you simply stay here, what did he tell him to do? Chant Hare Krishna and instruct. Jari Deko Tari Kao Krishna Upadesh. Amar Agyay Guru Hoy Tare. So, if we get the association, as it said in this verse, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, what to speak of Bhagavatam. It's kind of tricky because when you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, we know this is the postgraduate course, but wow, there's a lot of Bhagavatam quoted in there. So it's not like you don't have to read Bhagavatam. You have to read Bhagavatam. We have to study it. At the end of Navajalila, how Taridam Ati Rahasyam Goralilamritam Yat Kala Samuda Kalar Nadradam Taralabdyam. They won't get it. Who won't get it? Those who don't read Chaitanya Charitamrita. As it says, very difficult to get. Vikridatam, and the word Vishnu is used here. Wow, Vishnu. We're reading about Krishna, suddenly we have to hear about Vishnu. Vishnu Sarveshvareshvaram. So that famous verse at the end of, chapter 29. Vikridatam vajravidu biridam cha Vishnu. Bhaktim param bhagavati patilabhya labam. He's sudurlabham. Very difficult to get, but one gets that bhaktim param by hearing about, again and again, about these pastimes. Vikridatam vajravidu biridam cha Vishnu. Shraddha. How? Shraddhan vatir. With great faith. Shraddhan vatir. So this, and then what will happen? Same thing that happened to Kubja. Kamam rid rogam asva pahanot acharena dira. Very quickly, one will become dira, and the disease kama roga. There's so many diseases, but the kama roga is the main one in the material world. This kama roga asva apanot acharena dira. It will be finished from the heart. And Vishwanath Chakravarti gave that benediction in our play. According to Tamal Krishna Maharaj, anyway. Hrid Rogamaspa no Acharena Dira Shadan Bati Nasunayad. One has to hear it and speak it. Varnaya. Yeah. Just like when Vyasadeva was being instructed by Narad Muni told him, Samadhi nanusmara yad vicheshtitam. You're already qualified to be in, you just go into samadhi. He said, samadhi nanusmara, these are very elevated persons. Very elevated persons, but guess what? Prabhupada giving a lecture in New Vrindavan, in 69. And he said, so there's not only Narad Muni and Vyasadeva telling Vyasadeva, but this is meant for all of you to distribute this and deliver all the persons in the material world with this Srimad Bhagavatam. Samadhina anusmara yad vichestitam. Tomahabhaga bhavanamoga drik suchi shavas. So many qualifications Vyasadeva has actually. Suchi shava satyarato dritavata samadhina anusmara vichestitam. So that is not limited to Vyasadeva, but Vyasadeva, Prabhupada was sometimes praised. Someone said, you're just like Vyasadeva. Prabhupada said, no, I'm not like Vyasadeva. But okay, anyone who takes the mercy of Vyasadeva, just at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Vyasa Prasadas, Sanjaya said that he got the mercy, prasad, of Vyasa, therefore he could reveal this Bhagavad Gita to Dhritarashtra without going anywhere, internally, antadrishti. And he, obviously in Samadhi. So Prabhupada said like that. Then, by the mercy of Vyasadeva, anyone can reveal this. Vyasa Prasada Shukta Bhan. And what did Sanjaya say? Hrishyami Chamahur Mahu. He said, I'm in ecstasy just thinking about this. So, reading Bhagavad Gita, what to speak of Bhagavatam, but even Bhagavad Gita, Sanjaya is in so much ecstasy, his hairs are standing on end. Sangsmritya, and when he's thinking rupam, of the form of Krishna again and again, then when he's in ecstasy, and when he's thinking of this conversation of Bhagavad Gita, that between these two great personalities, Krishna and Arjuna. So, obviously that's there for us to be in ecstasy, just hearing Bhagavad Gita, chanting Bhagavad Gita. So, there's 4 verses here. It's hard to cover everything, but it's unlimited. Questions?
In Madhurya Kandambini, Vishwanath Thakur describes the different levels of eradication of anarthas, and it's been a long time since I looked at it, but
There's 5 levels.
yeah. So the last level takes place at praying, and then the eradication's absolute. So, can we understand that Travakra's purification, that's the absolute eradication of her anarthas?
I guess.
Never saw any commentary on that.
She's at least at the 4th stage.
Yeah.
Forgot the words. I always forget the words. I think, Ragan, look at the hand up. Or you're just yawning, stretching. Yeah. Want the mic?
You're mentioning the importance of Gayatri. What if someone misses the morning or noon Gayatri, and then in the evening they're making up those Gayatris? Is that something valid, or?
The only closest thing I heard about that, and you'll have to decide, Kirtananda told me that one time he was with Prabhupada, and he was chanting Gayatri late at night. Rather late, it was like 9 o'clock or something. And I guess it was winter where the sun had gone down some time ago, but Prabhupada said, what are you doing? He had his, and he said, I'm chanting Gayatri. And he said, it is too late now. So you should chant at sundown. But as far as piling them up, I mean, that happens with Hare Krishna sometimes. People are working and they miss rounds and then so, I mean, I don't think any harm in it, but it's probably good to chant at the right time. Face east. If you're not in the deity, watching the deities, see the sun. Krishna Narayan, Krishna is in the sun. Bhuva, Savitor means a sun, so face the sun. There's some rules about Gayatri.
I don't know anything about Gayatri, but I have a question about Kubja. Because it seems like before she was this hunchback servant of Kamsa.
She had a pretty face, it said.
Yeah, but it also said that she was a virgin girl when she met Krishna. So I'm thinking, I don't know if there's any reference, but how could you be a prostitute and be a virgin? My question. Also, as soon as the straightening and the pretty, all of a sudden she became, that was her new job, or I know this is Krishna's Leela, and I don't mean to be offensive, but yesterday when I heard Kubja went to see Krishna and she was a virgin girl. So immediately I thought she was a prostitute.
It says that, right?
But we read it yesterday in class.
Well, it doesn't say she was. It said that it had the accoutrement. Let me see yesterday exactly what it says.
I thought, well, maybe because she's...
Can I just look at some of yesterday's verses? Virgin girl at this point, she had been a deformed hunchback. A woman appears, blah, blah, blah. Text gives an insight. It said yesterday about the prostitute thing? Or before?
It said yesterday, didn't it? Wasn't it yesterday when it said the virgin girl? It said she was a virgin.
That I read just now. Just looked at it.
So it just struck.
It says it's not hard to guess her intention. There were explicit pictures on the walls.
There
were herbal aphrodisiacs.
It was to incite.
But it didn't.
men's
It
desire.
didn't exactly say she.
It's exactly said that, didn't it? I mean, did I hear it wrong?
Let me see.
Anyway, it says, I just was curious because I thought maybe because when she was a hunchback, she wasn't popular. Or something, I don't know. But as soon as she got Krishna's mercy and she became beautiful, is that when she changed her occupation? I don't know. I just was curious.
Well, I'm trying to read where it says she's a prostitute. It says it has all the other accoutrements that she wanted to make sure Krishna was allured.
Isn't a society girl somebody who that's her job to give pleasure to men?
I suppose it did say that, so I'll have to look for it. But Krishna book says society. But here, I'm looking here, but
is a society girl, can be categorized as what you're describing there, but it doesn't, because she happened to be in that atmosphere, doesn't necessarily means that she was engaged in prostitution. Sometimes, even nowadays society, you find that somebody just happened to be, by the dint of their karma, in a fallen situation, or among people that are fallen, but they themselves may have a distinct character. So,
it said she had friends with her. Maybe they... Yeah. That was her pious activity. That was her pious activity. Well, I could get detailed. My speculation is that because she was a hunchback, she was just there hanging with them because she was, like Dharmaraj mentioned, in this jati, this kind of subcaste of people, but she herself was still. Therefore, I don't see a contradiction. Her friends might have been like that. Loka knows.
Anybody else have any speculations? I thought maybe we'd get an answer from you.
I just gave my answer that her friends might have been, because she had friends, and they had this place all decorated. Previous to that, because she was ugly, she probably wasn't. But if you want to take it literally, it's Krishna's pastime. It's not, Kamsa. Yeah, if you're working for Kamsa, that's pretty bad too. But still, when she saw Krishna, she said, "Forget Kamsa. And you should get this. You two boys are the most beautiful boys in the universe." So, anything else? tell you what, I'm going to give you this researched in that. You research this. Homework. Anything else? Hare Krishna.
Pingala. Who's the prostitute? You would go to somebody's house and they got pictures and got that all going on. That's something. That ain't the Boy Scouts. That ain't the Cub Scouts. You know what I'm saying? That ain't the Girl Scouts. That's something. And it's very detailed in the script, you know, from the south.
Hey, Div. They just looked on the folio and it says after she was straightened, she was converted into the society.
That's what I said. In other words, when you're like, who wants you, you know, all of a sudden, boom.
So her first customer is Krishna.
It's Leela. Who knows? And then what about?
What about what? She's supposed to.
What's the difference between? Isn't it during the last dance the yogis think that Krishna is the only one who's asking of them?
Yeah.
And then she's asking for Krishna to be the only one.
So why is that?
What's the difference in that? Why can't you think that? I don't even know what happened there. What is it? Krishna said, "I'll be back," but didn't go back.
Yeah, I never heard of him going back. That's why
He said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, yeah," but then he just left. Right?
Yeah.